And hello there, RJB here from RJB TV with today we have in this video Burgersasu against Kuangai. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right because the way you pronounce stuff in Chinese is a little bit different than what I know how to pronounce. So I'm just gonna call him Kuangai, and he's against Burgersasu. And yeah, he's from China. So we actually have probably our very first feature of China against Korea on the channel. Don't think we've ever seen Kuangai play a game on the channel. This is his first time, and he's here to prove to you and I, to everyone who was watching at the time, and to everyone who's watching now and in the future, that Kuangai is one of the players at the top of the list of fastest map players. He's gonna prove himself to all of us and prove that China too has some amazing fastest map players deserving to be on the list of the best players in the world. That's what he's here for. To earn his spot on that list. China Kuangai is here on the name. China Kuangai. You're on the brown Protoss, middle right of the map. And he's going for a mid-gate bull order against Burgersasu's Zerg. You're on the bottom middle of the map. On the name Burgersasu because that's the name that he always plays on. Here on the pale blue Zerg on the bottom middle. And he's got his drone going to the middle, start building a hatchery here to keep that entrance walled off and defended from Kuangai's attempts at ending his life in this game as fast as he can. So the mid-gate build orders are very strong against middle spawn locations, and as you can see, Burgersasu is in fact on a middle spawn location. But I think China Kuangai went for a pylon in the middle, but a little bit too early. Usually what you see is they get two gateways at the same time. So 1 and 2, and then number 3. Because that is, in my opinion, a little bit stronger than getting the first gateway a little bit earlier than having only one zealot out on the map. But having that one gateway out earlier and faster, of course, does mean that one zealot will arrive a lot sooner. But will it be fast enough? Will that one zealot and that one probe be strong enough to harm Burgersasu so much that this mid-gate build order is going to be fatal for him? Gateway number 2 finishing up. Gateway number 3, they're on the way. He did not... Oh, he got a second pylon right here. He's building a shield battery. I'm liking this a lot, but we have a double hatchery there in the entrance, and Burgersasu is going to move that egg over into the middle and build an egg right there and keep Kuangai out of his base. But Kuangai is playing it very smart. He built 2 shield batteries on the exact locations where Burgersasu would have built his sunkens. He needs a square of 2 by 2, and there's no space or room for a sunken or keep colony here, but Zerglings are on the way. And he keeps the entrance blocked and walled off. This is the way that Burgersasu is handling this is really good. Really good. He scouted the middle, and then he walled off the front. Creeps are on the way. 4 zealots though breaking through with shield batteries. They are ready to... No, they are unpowered. They cannot heal up the zealots, and the zealots get stuck in between. He's getting through there though with a couple zealots, but the sunkens are morphing and almost finishing up. There's a drone there on the side going to try to finish that wall yet again. Build another hatchery. There he goes, another hatchery on the way. Looks like Burgersasu is successfully defending this rush, but the rush did do some damage. They killed the hatchery, killed some drones. Didn't kill drones, killed Zerglings. But there's a fight happening right here. Burgersasu is weaving in and out, trying to be as efficient as he can with the damage that he's dealing out and taking. And he does clean out the zealots, and he's secured the front as well. Very nicely played by Burgersasu. I don't think a lot of players would have survived this, but it's all due to the trick of getting that egg in between 2 hatcheries, walling off that choke, and being able to delay the sunkens for quite a little bit. But Kuangai so far has displayed a strong game. I've never seen anyone do the double shield battery trick to deny the sunkens. It was really smart. And if the pylon stayed alive, the zealots would have had more shielding and healing than if the pylon didn't die. So that I can see that being a very difficult rush to overcome. But Burgersasu, he's just too good. He's just too good. Apparently, he's just too damn good. He's trying to secure the frontal portion of his choke as well, but the zealots come in to take down the sunken, but the sunkens behind the wall do kill a couple zealots. I do think it was a worthy exchange, because he has to kill that sunken in the front to get his own eventual, probably proxy robotics base set up right here in this middle section. Having your cannons and robos right here just gives you so much pushing power than compared to having them back at home. Stargate is on the way. There's a robo on the way on the middle as well. The safe distance from that choke. Gonna build a pylon right there below it and slowly build towards this section here in front of the choke and try to seal off the entrance from the other end. Like Burgersasu has sealed the entrance to make sure Kuangai doesn't get in, but Kuangai wants to make sure that Burgersasu cannot get out. It's a two-way street, and both players are trying to make sure that neither of the two can get through. That's the ultimate goal here. Neither of the two is allowed to get through. But Burgersasu here, he knows what Kuangai is up to. He scouted the middle, saw a lot of gateways. Like he's circling there, scouting, running around, getting information, valuable information. Sees that the robo is still on its way. 6 gateways cost a lot of minerals to keep up and produce with, which means that everything else is going to get slowed down a fair bit. You're back at home, double nexus, triple gas. Triple gas this early on, pretty expensive. You can see in his gas income that his gas is quite high, his minerals are quite low. Now of course you do spend more minerals than you do gas, but I think he could have done with only double gas, given he only has 1 robo and 1 Stargate. There's the support bay coming in there though to allow him to get shuttle speed and the Reavers. But first the Reaver on the way. We've got level 1 attack, we've got speed for zealots and Dragoon range on the way as well. Whereas Burgersasu now on 3 hatchery in the back, 2 in the front, 5 hatchery total, 27 drones. He's droned up a lot since that early fight, but he's currently supply blocked on 45, waiting for overlords to spawn. He's got high disk speed on the way, because high disk speed is the best tool against shuttles. Because shuttles are fast, so you need to have some fast units yourself to intercept those shuttles. Otherwise, your drones are not going to write a letter of recommendation to the board of the hive mind to recommend you to play another Zerg game. You can have your Zerg rights revoked if you let those drones die. It's not going to be a nice game. So, hatch number 6, they're on the way in the back. More Sunkens come up in the front. Dragoons are being put into position so that when Singularity Charge finishes up, the Dragoons will be able to hit the 2 hatcheries. And in response to seeing that information, Burgersasu immediately adds on a couple more Sunkens around the corner. And as we know, or maybe you don't know yet, because maybe this is the first video you're watching, but as I've seen many times before, is that when Sunkens are being built around a corner on this specific spawn location, it messes with the AI of Reavers. Reavers cannot shoot around corners. They're dumb. Dumb bitches. Absolutely dumb bitches. They cannot shoot around corners. They will actually try to walk into Sunken range to hit the Sunken with their face, instead of from a safe distance, throwing balls at the Sunkens. You can already see it happening. The Reavers are struggling to shoot their load. Although they can hit this one Sunken right here, but this one probably out of range, out of sight. Annoying Courser on the side, annoying, very annoying, pushing those overlords away from the high ground to take away vision that Burgersasu has acquired earlier. Limiting the amount of vision a Zerg has is going to make shuttle drops so much easier to handle. And even if you're not going for shuttle drops, pushing the overlords away does put the fear into the minds of the Zergs that a shuttle drop might be coming. You don't have to go for a shuttle drop, but the fear being there means that the Zerg has to prepare for shuttle drops. And that might be useful if all you're doing is planning on going for a frontal attack. So we have about 20 Sunkens here in the front to keep Kuangai out. Kuangai, level 1 attack finished up, level 1 armor on the way, Zealot speed is finished up, Dragoon range finished up, and we have Scarab damage being researched. Also, we have more Reaver's being built, but it's only on a single robotics. He's on 61 probe, so his probe production has been solid. It's been stellar. It's been amazing. Hasn't missed a beat. But I'm not sure if going for this 3 Reaver frontal bust is the right move. It's a lot of Sunkens, but it's also a very big army. A lot of Zealots and Dragoons there on the middle waiting for the sign to go and attack. Whereas Burgersasu is taking this as a sign to get more hatcheries. He is feeling very comfortable. He's on 82 supply. He's somewhat been able to build up unharmed since that early rush. The rush, though, did cost him a lot of drones and a lot of mining time. He had to build so many Zerglings to defend and then lose a hatchery. Yeah, it did slow him down for sure. You can see it. He's only on 90 supply against 192 from Kuangai. Kuangai pushing forward, but the Reavers are idling in the back. Now getting blocked by Dragoons. Dragoons are taking fire and the Reavers are not shooting at all. The coordination of the attack, the execution, perhaps not the best, but he's gaining ground. He is definitely gaining a lot of ground. Burgersasu feels forced to pull some drones to the front to build new creeps. More Dragoons pushing forward. This might actually do the trick, although Burgersasu is pulling the trigger. He's taking the defenses away from the backside and moving everything to the front side. And pulling the Hydras, pulling the boys, turns out to be just enough to repel that attack from Kuangai. Though the Reaver is exposed, Burgersasu might actually... No, he's not going to try. I thought maybe Burgersasu was going to try to push further, but then he saw a lot of Zealots there standing in the back, and you and I both realized, and so did Burgersasu, that at that point, no, you're not going to push through. It's not going to work. You cannot push through that choke point. It's definitely not going to succeed. We do have about 60 gateways on the middle and 4 more on the way for a total of 20 gateways on the middle. Still only 1 robotics, no drops, but a very strong frontal push that almost broke through. It almost broke through. Level 1 armor is finished up there for Kuangai though. And we have level 1 attack there for Burgersasu. No, level 1 armor and Carapace both on the way. Lurker in the front, Observer is hanging in the air, but it's a little bit too far away to hit them. Actually, he has Observer vision range. So yeah, he can see the Lurkers, but Lurkers did a lot of damage on the Zealots. Now there's even more creeps coming in, like 10 creeps being morphed. Spore in the front to kill the Observer, but the Spore goes down. Observer stays alive in the sky. Zealots approaching, pushing forward. These Sunkens are going to save his life, but it's costing him a lot of money to build these. It's costing him a lot of money. And Kuangai's production is actually really, really good. He's almost back to being maxed out. 17 Zealots and 7 Dragoons on the way. Storm being researched. The Templar went in a little bit too early. But actually, what is this? What is this? Kuangai just threw his entire army into that sunken line, but there's no opportunity for Burgersasu to push back. There's no opportunity to try and regain control over the middle. I mean, not that he ever had control, but sometimes after a Protoss throws their entire army into a line of Sunkens and the Hydralisks, they lose so much of their army that there's a chance for you to go for a counterattack into the middle. Another attempt. 100 supply against 190. Make it 200 maxed out supply here for Kuangai. Burgersasu on the defense. Sunkens being built all over the place, building them in an arc. A lot of Hydralisks there in the back pushing forward. Still no shuttle drops being mixed into the attack. This attack here from Kuangai though is a lot less successful than the prior ones. Sunkens are dying. We see a lot of dead Sunkens there on the middle, but the Hydralisks had a great surround. It is very difficult that even though you've broken through that choke point, if the Zerg is allowed to get an arc of Sunkens around that choke point, it's very difficult to keep pushing forward. But he is forcing Burgersasu to keep spending on building Sunkens. Pretty much all the drones that he's building at the moment are going towards more Sunkens. He has about, I'd say, 11 hatcheries, another attack that coming through, only 2 Reavers in the mix and 2 High Templars, but a lot of Dragoons and Zealots joining the party. Very strong push yet again, but the amount of Sunkens keeps growing, and we have a couple of Lurkers morphing. But the upgrades for Kuangai keep getting better and better. He's at 101, he's getting level 1 shield, he only has 1 forge, so he's not getting level 2 attack and armor yet. And Burgersasu actually has caught up with his own upgrades. He's on a 1-1. He's rallying around the Reaver. He needs a couple more robos, a little bit more gas. He's drop there from Burgersasu comes in at the exact same time. He's going to kill the economy and make a comeback in this exact manner. There's almost no defensive structures here. Only one cannon that got taken down. The lurkers are having free shooting time. But Kuangai might be able to push through. But as I say that, I realize that no, he will not be able to push through. Burgersasu with one surgically precise counterattack. Despite being under constant pressure, constant tension, he found the window to get Overlord speed and transportation upgrades. You get 2 lurkers and 2 Hylas into Kuangai's base, but he only has 1 single cannon. Kuangai though, not yet giving up. 93 supply. Supply is now lower than Burgersasu's. He has a lot of Dragoons on the middle ready to fight, but the Dragoons are being pushed back by the Hylisks. They get us around, calls GG, and Kuangai loses after a pretty strong performance with a pretty good method of going for a frontal push. Really good macro. But I do think his game plan eventually turned out to be lacking. He had a great plan in going for the frontal push and breaking through and putting constant pressure on Burgersasu, but he had nothing to fall back on. It was all out offense, 0 defense. Absolutely 0 defense. 1 cannon is not going to do the trick. All of his attention was going into producing and sending the enemies, sending the units into the enemies, and to great results. But when you get hit by a counter-strike, you better be prepared to deal with the counter-strike. And turns out that he wasn't. So that's it for game number 1 in this new series. I'm gonna have to make the text on the top a little bit smaller. It's honestly a little bit big, isn't it? A little bit too big. A little bit smaller will do. Like right there on the top, this is a little bit better in size. Gonna give Burgersasu his first win of the series, winning a Zerg against Protoss. Kuangai looks good, but I am not yet impressed. He's gonna have to cover all of his options in order to properly impress me. But he did push Burgersasu into quite a tight space, a difficult situation. But for Burgersasu, that is never ever enough to conquer and win. So we'll see you coming back for game number 2 sometime soon, very soon. But this is the start, game number 1. See you soon.